is the video for day 6, and we're gonna get started right away. So hopefully I have this in order. The first question was evaluate 6 to the third power plus 7. So these are all based on questions that were, I forget, it's either 2013 or 2014. I forget which one. So let's take it from the beginning. First one. So 6 to the third power plus 7 times 4. Order of operation dictates I should do this guy first. So 6 to the third power is 6 times 6 times 6. I know 6 times 6, 36. I'm going to multiply by that last 6 over here. And 36 go 3. That should give me 216. Sorry. 18 plus 216. So I got 216. I'm going to do this one step at a time just to show you. Okay, so now I have a choice between addition or multiplication. I will definitely do multiplication first because that comes first. 216 stays as it is, plus 28. Let's add these two, and you get, let's see, 216. I'll do the, might as well just do it here. 8, 8 and 6 is 14. Carry the 1, 4. Final answer, 244, letter B. Okay. Okay, so that was the first one. Let's do which pair of expressions is equivalent. Well, first one, letter A, 4 and 6x. Remember that if it's in parentheses, there's a multiplication sign here. So 4 times 6x, this gives you 24x. Not even the same. Okay, so A is definitely out. B, if you look at B, you got 4 and 6x again, and the other one is 24x. Well, we just found out if I multiply these two, 4 times 6x is 24x, so these two are equivalent. Alright, C and D, you don't even have to worry about, okay? Doesn't even make sense. Computer's heating up, so let me just pause this and try to cool it down for a second. So just pause. Alright, so that should help. Let's see, so third one. The length of a rectangular parking lot at an airport is 2/3 of a mile. So when you have questions like this and you're able to draw it, please do. A rectangular parking lot. So what do we know about this parking lot? That the length, so this is the length. Okay, and we're going to call that 2/3 of a mile. I'll just write 2/3. The area is half a square mile. What is the width? So here is what we're missing. So you know that to find the area of a rectangular width, the area of a rectangle is area equals length times width, or base times height, whatever you want to call it, length times width. You're given that what? The area, we actually know what the area is. Half a square mile, okay? The length, in this case, I can substitute, but this is that. The length that's given to us is 2/3. And we're looking for W. So this can't speak. This becomes a one-step equation. Okay, so now 2 things you can do. You can solve it right away, or you can move this 2/3 W to the left side and a half to the right side, whatever you choose. I won't move it just because you should know how to do it both ways. So I'm going to do, remember, this is a fraction, okay, one of those fraction equations. So we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So actually, you know what? I will switch sides. So I'm going to do this: 2/3 W and a half on this side. I will switch sides because I like the fractions so that the fraction is on the outside instead of the inside. So we need to isolate our variable. This W has to be alone. Somehow we have to figure out a way to isolate it, to put it all alone. So we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. Okay, remember what the reciprocal is? The reciprocal 2/3 is 3/2. If you multiply 3/2, and I'll do this on the side, 3/2 times 2/3, 3 and 2 is 6 on top, 2 and 3 at the bottom is 6. So you end up getting 1. So this crosses out and becomes 1W, or just simply W, and that's what we want. On the other side, we got to multiply. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side. So on the top, we get 3, and at the bottom, we get 4. Do we have an answer that says 3/4? Yes, we do. Letter B. Trapezoids. Oh boy. Okay, so we want the area of the trapezoid. Okay, you got to please remember H, B1, B2 divided by 2. So that's the area of our trapezoid. It helps, always helps if you label it. Okay, so on your sheet, this was your 6. Let's just put a height over there. 4.5 and the top was 9. So I don't care who you call B1 or B2, that doesn't matter. So let's just call this B1 or B2. Substitute. Height is 6. Inside we have B1 plus B2, so 9 plus 4.5. I'm going to divide that by 2. So 9 plus 4.5 is 13.5. Okay, so I'm going to do this step by step. 13.5. I added my parentheses because that's the first thing I should do. And 13.5, now I'm going to take that and multiply that by 6. 6 times 5 is 30, carry the 3. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 is 21. And 6 times 1 is 6, 81. We have one decimal place, no decimals here, so our answer should have one decimal place. So our answer is 81 over 2, and that should be easy enough. 40.5, what's our units? Centimeters squared. Correct answer, letter C. Okay. Next one, the table below shows the number of tea bags. So 8 tea bags make 2 quarts, 16 tea bags makes 4 quarts, etc. So we'll actually write the table. 8, 16, 24, 36. 2, 4, here we have a question mark, so here's our missing number. I'll do this. Okay. And 36 and 9. Alright. You can do this 2 ways. You can look for a relationship this way. How did the 8 become a 16? Times 2. How did the 2 become a 4? Guess what? Times 2. Let's do the one that we have. How did the 8 become a 36? That's not really going to play out nicely for you. Okay. How did the 9 become a 9? 2 become a 9. That's going to be 4.5. So we can actually check, and if you multiply 8 times 4.5, you will get 36. So how does the 8 become, let me change colors here, 24, I'm sorry, be a times 3 relationship. So therefore on the other side it has to be a times 3 relationship, which gives you 6. That's one way of doing it. Okay, now another way, and I'm going to change colors again, is if I had the same table, change colors, 8, 2, 16, 4, 24 blank, and 36 and 9. You could have gone sideways. It's a relationship here. 8 to 2 is divide by 4. This one, divide by 4. 36 became a 9, divide by 4. So here, had to be divided by 4 as well, which gives you 6. So whether you did it that way or this way, you would have gotten the same answer. And our answer is letter B, 6. Okay. Clear. The printer makes more than 3 copies of a book every hour. So every hour makes which graphic represents the number of books made in 4 hours. So 1 hour, he makes 3 copies. That's for sure. 2 hours, he'll make 6 copies. 3 hours, I'll make 9 copies. Okay, so you can go times 2, times 3, times 2, times 3, and then in 4 hours, 12 copies. So, which graph he makes more than 3 copies of a book? So, okay, so tricky. More than 3 copies of a book. So, we know one sure, if it's more than 3. So, in 4 hours, he's going to have at least 12 copies. He makes more than 3. So, we don't know how much. It could be 3 point something. But I know that in 4 hours, he'll make 12 copies for sure. And more. So, at the end of 4 hours, letter A, look at your graph on letter A. Your graph on letter A starts at 3 somewhere. Okay, and it says the number of books that he made is higher than 3 and above. Well, that's not true. Okay, so it's not true because it's definitely gonna be 12 or more. So you're looking for something that has a number 12. B doesn't, C doesn't, and D does. Oh, thank God. D. And it's not shaded in this case because for sure it's more than 12. Okay, so it's anything above 12, 12.1, 12.2, whatever it is, it's above 12 for sure. Okay, that the guy made. So letter D, clear annotations. 4W, didn't we just do something like this? Equals 2/3. Well, again, it's a one-step equation. 4W equals 2/3. This one, it's a multiplication equation. The relationship between the 4 and the W is multiplication. So you want to do the inverse, okay, the opposite. So again, I forgot to do this on the previous one. Here's my left. Here's my right. I'm going to go ahead and write W equals at the bottom because that's what we want. Our W all by itself. And we have to get rid of this guy right here, the 4. The opposite multiplication is division, and we're going to represent division like this. Let me change colors. I'm going to divide this by 4. Okay, and we're going to divide this side by 4 as well. Okay, so, and it becomes a problem because we haven't gone over this. Where is a fraction on this side? Well, actually, not that we haven't gone over, it's because if you write it like, okay, let's keep going. So on this side, this and this will cancel because 4 divided by 4 is 1, and you get 1W. So you get the W that we want at the bottom. Now on here, it's actually better if we had written it like this. Okay, 2/3 divided by 4, because now you can do division of a fraction and a whole number. So I'd much rather you write it this way in this case. Okay, so 2/3 divided by 4. 2/3. We're going to keep that over 1. So before we divide, we're going to find a common denominator. In this case, it's 3. So this was times 3. On top was times 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. Remember what we can do here because our fractions are the same. We can cross these out and just pretend it's 2 divided by 6, and we can write that as 2 over 12, or 1 over 6. So our W is 1 over 6. And I'm not happy with the way I did this. So our answer is 2/12. And notice that they didn't simplify. So this is our answer, 2/12. I'm going to do this question again, but I'm going to try to sneak it in here and do it the way, this would be the way you would do it on a test. Okay, where I ask you for work and everything else. But if it's a multiple choice question, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I should have asked you to do this. 4W equals 2/3. Okay, you're going to have a time constraint. Actually, you don't have a time constraint, but you should do it the smarter way here. So this says 4 times a number we don't know equals 2/3. You have multiple choices. So take letter A. Letter A says it's 2/12. Let's see if that works. 4 times 2 over 12, will that equals 2/3? Well, how will we do that? Put that over 1. 4 times 2 is 8, and 1 times 12 is 12. Can I simplify that? Yes, I can. I'll divide top and bottom by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So our answer is 2/12. I'm going to pick another one. B, just to show you. 4 times W equals 2/3. Let's see if you had tried letter B, you would have done 4 times 2 over 7. Is that equal to 2/3? Well, let's see. Put that over 1. 4 times 2 is 8. And at the bottom, 1 times 7 is 7. You can clearly tell that 8 over 7 and 2/3 are not equal to each other. So the better way to do it would have probably been this one. Okay, where you substitute each of the values instead of W and see which one equals to 2/3. There's nothing wrong with the way I did it here. Nothing wrong, but just could have been the long way. Okay, in case you don't remember this, this is always your choice, another choice. Okay. Let's see. Which number best represents the location of point E? So you had -2 on number line, -1, and you had a straight line, not like mine, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and letter E was right here. Okay. So -1, what could this have been? Negative 1.8 was the letter choice. Say -1.8 is definitely closer to 2, so that was not it. -1.6, -1.5, -1.3. Well, how can I go from -1 to -2? First of all, the spacing is there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's definitely, if you divide 1 by 5, you're going to have a 0.2 scale here. So this is -0.1. Think of dollars. -1, -1.2, -1.4, -1.6, -1.8, and 2. So E, definitely letter B. Okay. Where are we? Which pair of expressions below is equivalent? Okay, so let's see. X plus y plus x plus y. So first one, letter A, x plus y plus x plus y. So if they're the same, you can add. So x plus x is 2x. Y plus y is 2y. So that's what that equals to. And is that the same as 2x plus 2y? Well, that equals this. So, and then 2x plus y, is that the same? Security property, birds attacking the little pigs. 2 times x is 2x. Plus 2 times y is 2y. Guess what? They are equal. Yay, check. I didn't have to do anything else. I will do B just to show you if 2x minus 3y, is that equal to 10x minus 3y? Well, let's see. 5 times 2x is 10x. So far, so good. Minus, 5 times 3 is 15y. So this is definitely not equal. Might as well do the next one. 4x and 5y. Is that the same thing as 5y minus 4x? No, it is not. Okay, subtraction. It's not commutative. You can't. 5 minus 3 is not the same thing as 3 minus 5. Okay? It doesn't work for subtraction. So C, I don't even have to do it. And 9x plus 2y is definitely not equal to 11xy because that's not how we add like terms. This is an x, 9x, and this is 2y. We can not add these together. Okay? So the first one was the answer, letter A. The next one, whatever number it is, coordinate points in distance between point A and point B. Not too big of a fan of this question. -6 and 4. 3 and 4. Which expression represents the distance in units between point A and point B? The absolute value of -6 plus the absolute value of 3 between point A and point B. 3 minus the absolute value. Give me 1 second because I might want to draw this. Just give me a second. So, where is -6 and 4? -6 and 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -6 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's -6 and 6. -6 and 4, sorry. And then 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and up 4. So they're the same here. This line is the same. And we want to find the distance between them. So what they did was this. This -6 and 4, and this is 3 and 4. Think of this as your 0, which is, so how far is this point all the way to 0? And that would be the absolute value of -6. Right? Remember, the absolute value is the distance between a number to 0. So from here to here, and I'll change colors, from here to here, to find distance, and location of -6 Negative 6 is 6 spaces away from 0, so they use the absolute value. Negative 6. Absolute value of negative 6 is 6, so it's 6 spaces away, so negative 6 is 6 spaces away from 0. On this side, that's a 3. Okay, that 3 right there. How far is that away from 0? So it's also, another way of putting it is like this. The absolute value of 3, which is 3. Okay, so how far are these 2 points apart? Right, well, it's 6 units this from here to here, and on this side is 3 units, so a total of 9. So the only one that gives me 9, let's see, would be letter A. Letter A has the absolute value negative 6, which is this part, plus you want to find the absolute value of that part, which is 3, giving it 9. The only one that makes sense. The one that's subtraction you can eliminate right away. Okay, well, we shouldn't be subtracting. Okay. Which expression represents the phrase below? 8 less, so I'm going to write this 8 less than the product of 6 and a number 6 and x. Okay, we call that number. So right under it, I'm going to write 8 because 8 means 8. Less than to me means subtraction. Product means multiplication. So who am I multiplying? 6 and x. Okay, so the key thing here was this is a turnaround word, so we're going to turn things around. 6x, this term, is going to come to the front, minus, and the 8 goes in the back. Do we have something like that? Yes, we do. Letter A. Okay, so point G. Okay, I'm definitely not going to draw this. Which point is 5 units from point G? So where's point G? Negative 3 and 1. Okay, so I might have to draw this. Sort of. Or maybe I should have pulled that file up. Smart. Okay, it's true. Let's do it. Negative 3 and 1. 3 and 1. So 1, 2, 3, and negative 1. Which one? So here's where G is. That's what you should have had. And we want to know who is 5 spaces away from G. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Letter D is definitely out. Okay, if you just count, that's definitely out. Letter A, well, let's see. Letter A is 1, 2, 3, and then B 4. Letter A is here, so letter A is out. And letter B is next to it, so that would make sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Letter B is definitely the one that we want. Okay? C is not even a consideration. Okay? Okay. The diagram, the variable represents the length. Write an expression using B and C. Find the perimeter. Okay, what's perimeter? Perimeter is the distance around a shape. So here we have a shape, quadrilateral. This is B, that's how much it is. This is B minus 2, C minus B, and C. To find the perimeter of any shape, we have to add things, right? We have to add this side plus this side plus this side plus this side. So let's add them. B plus, you should put it in parentheses. Okay, we're going to take it out anyway, but you should. C, if it's a, that's 2 terms. And last one, C minus B. Okay, we're going to pretend for a second there's a 1 here, right? Remember, there's a 1 in front of the parentheses. So we're going to get B plus 1 times B is B, 1 times minus 2 is minus 2, plus C, I don't like this question already, plus 1 times C is C again, and 1 times B is, make sure it's a minus. Okay, so we're going to combine like terms. Well, let's see, and here is where, oh, actually it's not that bad. We can do this, remember? Circle this, we're going to circle the plus B, and we're going to circle the minus B, and we're going to put all those things next to each other. So we got plus, we're moving everything in the circle, plus B, and I'll move that guy there with the subtraction sign. Now I'm going to change colors. Okay, I'm going to circle the plus C and the plus C. We're going to move that around again. So plus C, move the other plus C, and lastly, lastly, the minus 2 will go all the way to the end. Let's combine what we can. B plus B is 2B minus B, so I get simply a B. Right? I have 2 B's, take away 1 B, I have a B. I have 2 C's plus 2C, and then finally the minus 2. So this would be my expression. What is the perimeter if B equals 11? So we have a part 2 here. So if B equals 11 and C equals 16, how much would the perimeter be? Well, let's substitute. Instead of B, we can write 11 plus 2 times, remember it's multiplication, 16 minus 2. Okay, after substituting, that we put it here, that we put it here, we get 11 plus 2 times 16 is 32 minus 2. Please don't do the subtraction first, okay? It's addition or subtraction, whichever one comes first from left to right. So 11 by 32 is 43 minus 2, final answer 41. Long question. Okay, and our last question. Okay. Again, the area of a rectangular part is 3/5. Didn't I do this? Okay, so I'm going to do it again. Rectangular. The area, the total area. So area equals base times height, or length times width. Let me use it. What do they use here? Length and width. Okay, so I'm going to use length and width. Okay. The area, I know what the total area is 3/5. The length is 7/8, and I don't know my width again. Okay, so it's same problem, different numbers. So the length is 7/8, and this is what I need to find. So let's switch that around, because again, I like my fraction on the outside, especially because I'm going to multiply by its reciprocal. So 3/5 goes on this side. So you need to recognize what type of equation this is and what you have to do next. I'm going to multiply this by the reciprocal. 7/8, multiply on that side by 8/7. Okay, so this and this and this and this all will become one big 1. So you're going to get 1 W or just W. On this side, 3 and 8 on top is 24, and 5 and 7 at the bottom is 35. So the W, my width here is 24 over 35 miles. Wow, it's a big parking lot. Okay, and that's how I get my width. All right, so if you think about your equation, you're looking for a number that multiplied by 7/8 will give you 3/5, and then that number is 24 over 35. Okay. Last question. Jody's car used 12 gallons of gas, so how many miles did a car travel per gallon of gas? Well, it took her 456 miles with 12 gallons per gallon. So here's our ratio. We know that, I'll just write this, 456 miles, that's a 6, took 12 gallons. So if I write another ratio on the other side, I want to know with 1 gallon. How much can I go? I know how far this car will go with 12 gallons, so what's the relationship here? Is there one? Yes, there is. Divide by 12. I want to divide the top by 12, and I have no idea what that is. 456 divide by 12, 3, carry the 1, 36. Borrow 15, 6, 96, and that looks like an 8. So 98. What? 98 miles? Wow, nice car. 1 gallon, 98 miles. Really? So, but set up a proportion here. Okay, that would probably be nice and easy for you guys because you've done tons of these. Okay, so that's day 6. Okay,